Well, there's a slight change to the opening of the programme, Leo, and I think we might be broadcasting to ourselves tonight.
Possibly, maybe.
For those of you who haven't heard, potentially nobody, Queen Elizabeth II, sadly, earlier today, passed away as Britain's longest ever reigning monarch. I don't think we would describe ourselves as massive royalists in this studio, but certainly there was a lot of respect for the Queen, and I certainly loved the Queen. So that's very, very sad news. We've got Charles obviously taking up the mantle, who is very, very good. I think he's a very nice fella. And that was Vera Lynn, who apparently was billed as the Queen's favourite artist, with a song There Will Always Be an England. So I'm presuming, Leo, everybody's just going to watch us or listen to us on catch up.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't blame them at all. Like we did get a message from Pouty there, shouty to Pouty, saying like, are we still going to go ahead? Absolutely. At times like these, why wouldn't you? You know, let's celebrate the life of Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II.
You look a little bit tearful, mate. Considering what you've just said, you're not a massive.
I'm not, but at the end of the day,
fan of the voice. You do look like you're tearing up a bit.
Yeah, like I say, it's still the Queen. Yeah, it's still someone's mother and grandmother and wife. Yeah, and daughter. You know, and she's been around, like you said, all our lives.
It's all we've known, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. End of an era, literally. You know.
It is. It's kind of the show. We had the show obviously planned. We map it out. I know it sometimes doesn't feel like we map it out, but we do generally tend to map it out, don't we? And we have a bit of a plan in place. So obviously we completely changed the opening there. Maybe from another Queen later. The show must go on. We'll sneak that into the playlist. We've got a few requests that we will play. There was a couple of things in tonight's show that we will park maybe for next week that maybe now not appropriate. But we have got a quiz that was sent in by Rufus Periwinkle, and strangely enough, weirdly enough, it's the Great Royal quiz. So
right here, in such a strange instance of synchronicity, they marked as on Her Majesty's Secret Service the Royal Quiz questions. So yeah,
we'll have a look at those during the next track just to see if there's anything. We don't want to do a quiz that's going to be too cheeky or too naughty. So we'll check out those questions. As Prouty, actually, we're giving a shout out to Prouty. As Prouty would say, the show must go on and let the music carry on. This is Monty Got a Raw Deal.
There you go. That obviously there was Queen with The Show Must Go On. And you are watching and listening to Wal of Paine here on fm.fluidrecords.co.uk and vision.fluidrecords.co.uk. On this today, we say goodbye to our long-reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. She's died at 96 years of age. She was the Queen of UK and 15 other realms and head of a 54-nation Commonwealth. And she was easily the world's most recognisable head of state in the longest living monarch's reign. She came to the throne at the age of 25, and many people will remember back in those days their parents, maybe their grandparents, rushing out to try and get the first televisions to watch the coronation. And 15 prime ministers have served her over the years, and she regarded her role as a lifelong duty. And in her Silver Jubilee message in 1977, she said, "When I was 21, I pledged my life to the service of our people and asked for God's help to make that vow. Although that was made in my salad days when I was green in judgment, she didn't regret nor ever retracted one word of it." Our new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, has made a statement a few minutes ago saying it is a great loss, but she will leave a great legacy. And let you know of any more updates to that as it comes in. This is breaking news here.
This is a really sad show. I'm now welling up a little bit because I'm watching Leo try and keep it together, reading this out, and we're changing all the songs on the hoof to try and do as well as we can do in the time that we've been given more of a tribute show.
We literally found out, like 8 minutes before we started the show. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
Andrea phoned me and said, the Queen's died. And we're like, okay, let's carry on. As we just heard, the show must go on.
Absolutely.
And if we didn't do it this week, we you'd have to do something. So I'm changing music on the hoof while Leo's looking up Queen facts. I'm going to play, I'm being quite self-indulgent myself here as well, but I'm going to play, I had a Jack Johnson song queued up to play today, which was Staple It Together. That's maybe not appropriate. I'm going to play this one. This is Constellations. This is my favourite ever Jack Johnson song. So, yeah, let's just play this one.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're just looking up as well as we go. We open there slightly differently, as I say, with Vera Lynn. We're just looking up what Queen Elizabeth's favourite bands were, and it appears in the top there with Vera Lynn, Cliff Richard comes up, as do ABBA. We'll still tonight be doing Tracklink, obviously, although, you know, understandably, if nobody wants to get involved, that's fine, but we'll be doing Tracklink on the half hour, and later we will be doing the quiz. We will have a tipple of the week, and we will raise our tipple of the week to Queen Elizabeth,
we will indeed,
and to the royal family and to the grandchildren. We'll dedicate tipple of the week to the royal family, as I say, and the Queen. Yeah, I don't really feel like much bants tonight now. We've got it all planned out.
I don't know, we might get a little something. She wouldn't want us to be sad. That's one thing I do know about the Queen. She liked a good time.
Yeah, I think I mean, it will be a celebration of life, and, you know, what a life. We're just looking at some pictures now. It just seems so odd as well to think that she's gone. I remember in 1977 when I was at school and everybody came in and we were given what was it, commemorative mugs, because it was the Jubilee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
my mum and dad have a few things like that, so your Queens and mugs and such.
And the head teacher came in and everybody got this mug in a box, and you took it home and you're like, wow, you know, I'm 8 years old, I don't really drink tea, but brilliant, I'll take that home. Don't know what happened to mine ultimately. And then of course we've just had the Diamond Jubilee, which was all good. So anyway, we'll play one more track. We're going to play an ABBA track, and what more appropriate than, because we don't want this to also be a maudlin kind of show, and that Jack Johnson track is quite downbeat. So,
well, it's a respectful tune, but like I say, the Queen did like to have fun. She would probably want us all to be celebrating her life rather than being sad. So why not?
And we've just read, haven't we, because we're looking up facts as we go, we're very much on the hoof and under whatever. Apparently, and I don't know which newspaper clipping this came from, but the Queen was billed as a very, very good dancer, which I can imagine back in her heyday. Her favourite band, or one of them, was ABBA. So what better than ABBA with Dancing Queen?
Absolutely.
That's ABBA and Dancing Queen. Leo's working his socks off there, also altering all of our visuals on screen as we look at them. We're changing all of our songs. Apart from, we are still going to go ahead with Tracklink, Leo, which is quite exciting. Hang on, here we go. Tracklink. Because for the first time since we've been broadcasting, Tracklink has not been done by Leo. It has not been done by me. It has been done by our biggest contributor, Dawn Lee, who is also this evening notable by her absence, because I presume potentially watching TV, looking at the breaking news, and we'll have to sort of listen to this on catch up, as most people will. But thanks there to Alex, who's just liked our Instagram. He's the first one in to have liked that. We've just posted up a picture of the Queen to explain what we're doing on the show.
News in also, on that as well. Breaking news: Bill Clinton has just made a statement on it. Statement by President Clinton, former President Clinton, on the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Hillary and I mourn the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. We join with people across the United Kingdom and Commonwealth and all around the world in giving thanks for her extraordinary life. Throughout her remarkable 70-year reign, she led Britain through great transformations with unfailing grace, dignity and genuine care for the welfare of all its people. In sunshine or storm, she was a source of stability, serenity and strength. We will always be grateful for the kindness she showed us through the years, particularly during our visits to Buckingham Palace in 1995 and 2000, and for all she did to deepen the special relationship. Our thoughts and prayers with the royal family and all the people Her Majesty inspired throughout her lifetime of service.
That's lovely, isn't it? That's a lovely tribute. I tell you what, it is odd. I mean, how many people can say, well, nobody, because she's the longest reigning monarch, but how, you know, that have had a monarch that has reigned for that long. I think Queen Victoria was the second longest.
Next one.
But 70 years.
And just think that's just one president, Bill Clinton. How many others has she lived through their reign? You know, from Nixon to Kennedy to Roosevelt.
Yeah.
To all of these people.
Well, Churchill.
And as prime ministers as well, 15 prime ministers, probably a similar amount of presidents, Reagan, I definitely have a lot of memories from the 80s and the 90s, particularly Bush Senior, Reagan, Clinton, like the three of them, they were very in communication with Queen Elizabeth, obviously settling for the Good Friday Agreement, for example. These massive historical things have happened. That's what I presume former President Clinton there is referring to with his visits in 1995 in particular. I have a strong memory of that. So she's
but going through the war, going through the as a land girl, I think she had a job, if I remember this correctly. She worked in an armaments factory, and she also worked as a mechanic, I think, mending a lot of trucks and stuff. So put her efforts into the war there, and going through that, as you say. I mean, all the American presidents, but not only that, Churchill going through the war and then coming out of the other side of that with our prime ministers.
Yes,
and a lot of people, and myself, I didn't watch the whole series, but we used to watch The Crown, and that was when who was that? Matt Smith was playing was playing Prince Philip. It was very very good. It is just absolutely weird.
It's time for one more. Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer, obviously leader of the opposition, the Labour Party here in England, for our international viewers. He has said about 7 minutes ago, "Today we mourn the passing of a remarkable sovereign. It is a deep private loss for the royal family, and all our thoughts are with them at this time. The nation shares in their grief. We will always treasure Queen Elizabeth II's life of service and devotion to our nation and the Commonwealth, our longest serving and greatest monarchs. Above the classes of politics, she stood not for what the nation fought over, but what it agreed upon. As Britain changed rapidly around her, this dedication became the still point of our turning world. So as our great Elizabethan era comes to an end, we will honour the late Queen's memory by keeping alive the values of public service she embodied. For 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II stood as the head of our country, but in spirit she stood among us." That's from Keir Starmer.
Absolutely, and I think that's a very, very valid point, is the Queen always looking for the positives in things, never shirking a role, never shirking a duty, and extracting the positives, which a lot of people could take a lot of stead from, but unfortunately maybe a lot of people that should do that don't. But it's nice to appreciate that people think that, and how you have to constantly be that face of the country and of the Commonwealth, and constantly show that this is the right thing to do, or constantly be smiling, when I'm sure at the end of the day, sometimes at the end, she's just a lady, isn't she? So she's got her own woes, worries, and has to put all of that to one side to be this great, as you say, head of state, head of the Commonwealth. We're going to do, as I say, we're going to move on. We are going to do track link.
One last one.
Oh, go on. Okay, do one before that.
It's coming in thick and fast.
Oh, is it coming in as you're reading them now? Okay.
I am live on the tweets and the Twitter and everything else.
Crikey, there we go.
Nicola Sturgeon has just posted a tweet. "The death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth is a profoundly sad moment for the UK, the Commonwealth and the world. Her life was one of extraordinary dedication and service. On behalf of the people of Scotland, I convey my deepest condolences to the King and the royal family."
Lovely.
Nicola Sturgeon.
It's all these people that you see as politics and politicians and whatever. At the end of the day, they're all just people, and they are all now sad.
Exactly.
Regardless of their political endeavours or their political differences, something like this just makes everybody look at themselves and think, is it time just to put this to one side and just look at the bigger picture? You would hope maybe that something really, really positive in politics could come of this, and if Charles gets onto the throne, as I'm sure it's a very sad time for himself, but he's a very, very driven guy, and I think he's very, very morally upstanding, and I think he will be very good
and
for
you
the
can
country.
feel the emotion in these statements.
Absolutely.
As a wise person once said in the film, it matters not if you're a king or a little street sweeper. At the end of the day, you all meet the Reaper, and everyone's humanity is coming out, whether they're politicians, regular Joes like you and me. Everyone can feel a bit of emotion over this, I think.
Well, moving to, and this is what I was going to say, ironically again with the synchronicity, our first track that we're going to play today, and maybe everybody can be this as well. This is David Bowie, Heroes.
There you go. We can be heroes. David Bowie.
That's quite
Fantastic
appropriate
track
for a
right
track
there,
link,
isn't it?
which I thought is why we'd still go for it. So
Yeah.
that is our first track link. So anybody out there that isn't watching The Queen or listening to Radio 4 and they are doing Listen Again,
Yep.
you can still participate in that. That's your first track link, which is David Bowie and Heroes.
Yep, and the aim being that we're going to play another one at 8 o'clock and another one at 8:30, and if you can guess what links those tracks together, whether it be the same artist performing on them, or they were all on the same film soundtrack or whatever, then get in contact with us, and you can do that at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk and vision.fluidrecords.co.uk. The chat room's right there. You don't need to log in, just stick a name in, jump on in and tell us what your answer is.
And at fluidrecords.co.uk you can also find a link, can you not, Leo, to our merch store?
You can,
although it does
indeed.
feel wrong at this time to be plugging merch.
Well, we'll just gently remind people that the merch store is indeed open, and it is right there at fluidrecords.co.uk/merch. We've had lots of orders so far, and massive shouts and thanks to all of the people out there who have already ordered.
Mailing one out today.
Indeed, it's been very busy, hasn't it?
Looking at the picture on the screen there, and we know this, the Queen did always love a hat, so I'm sure she would have loved one of our baseball caps, Leo.
You never know.
We should have sent one.
Yeah.
I could see her rocking that.
Yeah.
Going on a walkabout.
I'll get that picture up.
That's a great pic you got.
That's what I'm going to. If you haven't noticed, if you're just listening to us over on vision.fluidrecords.co.uk or twitch.tv/fluidvision, you can actually see us in the studio, and in the background doing the music, we have a nice slideshow going of Her Royal Highness herself, Her Majesty the Queen, who has sadly passed away at the age of 96.
After 70 years as head of state and
Yes.
70 years in service. That's crazy.
Yes, well, the Irish Dalsatian Michael Martin has described the Queen's reign as one of historic duration, immense consequence, and a focus of respect and admiration around the world. Her dedication to duty and public service were self-evident, and her wisdom and experience truly unique. The Queen's passing is indeed the end of an era. Her state visit to Ireland in 2011 marked a crucial step in the normalisation of relations with our nearest neighbour. That visit was a great success, largely because of the many gracious gestures and warm remarks made by the Queen during her time in Ireland. Her popularity with the Irish people was also very evident and clearly made a positive impact on the Queen. In particular, he recalls the warmth of the welcome she received from the public in Cork during her walkabout at the English market. And that was Michael Martin's statement about 15 minutes ago.
Oh.
Yes.
Every time you read one of these, I'm looking at you, and you're almost like you're going to go, and then you compose yourself when I play a bit of music, and then you read a statement again.
Yeah.
We've reached the part of the show as well, Leo, that we normally dedicate to a bit of new music or local music.
Yes.
So I'm going to stick with that theme. I'd put this song in. This is My Painted Smile's latest release, which is called End Song. Siege is still in the chat room, which I think he is.
Yes, yep.
We'll do this for him tonight. I'm seeing
Tony Black was in there as well, and Dawn Lee. So hello, good evening.
Oh, yeah, there they are.
Yep, they are. Well. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We do understand it is an unusual event, but we will keep you up to date with everything as it breaks. In fact,
you got another one?
Yes, Jacinda Ardern, funnily enough.
Okay.
Which, incidentally, as Dawn Lee is here, was that not one of the questions that her friend sent in? Was who was?
No, that was Gemma, our daughter, Prime Minister of New Zealand, and Siege
exactly.
actually was the only person who got that right.
Yes,
so she's put in a statement now, has she?
Yes, she has expressed the country's deep sadness at Queen Elizabeth's death. Obviously, the Antipodean Islands, Australia and New Zealand, both very big royalist areas. They love the Queen. It's so, again, this is how much she is embedded in culture. Peter Jackson's early films, obviously director of the Lord of the Rings.
That was all in New Zealand, wasn't it?
And it's saturated with pictures of the Queen on the wall, with some of the characters that are absolutely obsessed with the Queen, love the Queen. That's how much Queen Elizabeth has really seeped into every part of culture, not just here, but literally the other side of the world.
I think this is the thing globally. I mean, there's a lot of beef, if you like, for politicians and different countries' leaders and leaderships, but you're absolutely right, Leo. I think globally, the Queen generally liked though and loved by whatever your political divisions or your thoughts on your country or leadership or whatever are. Everybody, I won't say everybody, but an awful lot of people just like the Queen, love the Queen, or even I don't think anybody dislikes her. At worst, you're indifferent. You know, you know, there's not a lot of people that you can say that about ever.
Exactly, and even people I've known of were ardently, I'm against the Queen and all that. Like I used to live on the Great West Road many years ago, and obviously they'd go back and forth quite a lot from Windsor, Buckingham Palace, airport, whatnot. So it wouldn't matter how much these people weren't like all for her at one moment. The minute she's around or something, it's like, Your Majesty, oh it's the Queen, you know. Like even though as much as they say they hate her, they couldn't help but be like, you know, in awe of her presence.
Well, only a month ago now, I think it was a month or 5 weeks ago, of course, Prince Charles visited Launceston with Camilla. They were on a royal walkabout there. And only 3 weeks ago, our very own resident gardener, Monty Tom, genuinely bumped into Prince William on the beach while they were all walking their dogs, which was a great moment. Allegedly just went over to him and said, all right, mate. And William's just like, yes, thanks, mate, you.
Yeah, we're getting totally down-to-earth person. Brilliant. You know? Like... Jacinda Ardern also there saying people throughout the world will be feeling an acute sense of loss at this time, and New Zealanders most certainly share that grief. The Queen was a much respected constant through unprecedented global change. She was much loved and admired monarch, as we were just saying, whose record reign of 70 years is an absolute testament to her and her commitment to us all. She was extraordinary. People throughout the world will be feeling this acute sense of loss at this time. She offers her deepest sympathy, and to us she was a much admired and respected monarch. To them, she was a mother and grandmother, Ardern said, of the royal family. Which is what I was saying at the top of the show. Again, it doesn't matter. She's still someone's mother, grandmother, daughter, wife. And, you know, it's not long since Phil went, so... Yeah, God bless. Hopefully they're both back together again, huh?
Oh, there you go. That's a nice sentiment.
Again, Prince Philip was absolutely the love of her life. Like, she really was in love with him, and vice versa. The two of them were incredible, strong pair for all of those years together.
Exactly that. And as I say, we're going to play some new music now. This is My Painted Smiles' new song, which is my band, and Siege's band, which is called End Song, and the lyrics of which at the end also may play testament to what you've just said about literally ending and being back together. So
Dawn Lee there just saying thank you for 70 years of service. Rest in peace, Your Majesty. Thanks for that, Dawn Lee.
Shall we play it?
We shall play it. Here we go.
This is the Wal Of Paine show on Phluid FM.
Are you ever gonna take my call? We could meet up in the shopping mall. We could do some old school shoplifting. Yeah, if you know what I mean. We could take some things just out of reach. We could steal some things we'll never need. We could bring this country to its knees. Yeah, you. before. We should build a bonfire down on the shore. Maybe we should stay here forevermore. Forevermore. Baby, we should stay here forevermore. You and I, we should stay here forevermore.
That was for Lady Driver, that one. She requested that literally because the weather's been miserable, but Leo and I are just having a chat saying that's strangely coincidental. That's, you know, Here Comes the Rain is almost a metaphor for a sad day.
It is indeed. For those of you just joining us that may not have heard, I find it hard to believe that anyone wouldn't have done, but if and that we would be the first place you would hear it. But, ladies and gentlemen, Queen Elizabeth II has sadly passed away at the age of 96 after a 70-year reign on today, the 8th of September 2022. We've been covering this since we came on air, because we just found out literally minutes before we came on air.
We did.
We've been hearing testimonials and tributes coming in from all around the world. Got another few here. Much maligned, but I'm going to read it anyway. Donald Trump, the 45th President of the US, and former First Lady Melania have said, "Melania and I will always cherish our time together with the Queen and never forget Her Majesty's generous friendship, great wisdom and wonderful sense of humour. What a grand and beautiful lady she was. There was nobody like her. Our thoughts and prayers will remain with the great people of the United Kingdom as you honour her most meaningful life and exceptional service to the people. May God bless the Queen. May she reign forever in our hearts, and may God hold her and Prince Philip in abiding care." Boris Johnson has made a statement. "This is our country's saddest day. In the hearts of every one of us there is an ache at the passing of our Queen, a deep and personal sense of loss, far more intense perhaps than we had expected. In these first grim moments since the news, I know that millions and millions of people have been pausing whatever they have been doing to think about Queen Elizabeth, about the bright and shining light that has finally gone out. She seems so timeless and so wonderful that I'm afraid we had to come to believe, like children, that she would just go on and on. Wave and wave of grief is rolling across the world from Balmoral, where our thoughts are with the royal family, and breaking far beyond this country and throughout the great commonwealth of nations that she so cherished, and which cherished her in return." The Welsh First Minister, Mark Drakeford, has tweeted that he's incredibly sad to hear the passing of Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. As our longest reigning monarch, she firmly upheld the values and traditions of the British monarchy, and on behalf of the people of Wales, he offers his deepest condolences to Her Majesty's family during this time. Lots of messages coming in. President Biden, current Biden, "We first met the Queen in 1982. She stood in solidarity with the United States during our darkest days. In the years ahead, we look forward to continuing a close friendship with the King and Queen Consort," which is another update just coming in, that Charles shall be known by the regal name of King Charles III, and of course that will be his Queen's Consort Camilla.
Wow,
Yes.
King Charles III. I think all these, as we've said all evening as well, regardless of race, colour, creed, background, political difference, all of these tributes are heartfelt and true.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what side of the platform you stand on. Obviously, hearing there from both Trump and Biden. Former President Barack Obama has said, "Michelle and I were lucky enough to come to know Her Majesty, and she meant a great deal to us. Like so many, Michelle and I are grateful to have witnessed Her Majesty's dedicated leadership. We are awed by the legacy of tireless, dignified public service. Our thoughts are with her family and the people of the United Kingdom at this difficult time." George W. Bush again. See what I mean? That just everybody.
But as I say, what your feelings about these people are? They all genuinely have these.
Yeah.
They're all just people at the end of the day, and
Yes.
the Queen's touched every sort of part of the Commonwealth, the world, and all of these leaders.
Yes. George W. Bush there saying, "Laura and I join our fellow citizens in sending our heartfelt condolences to the royal family and British people."
Strange as it seems to be saying this, though, Leo, I'm going to play another song now, which is actually going to be our second track link.
Yeah.
A lot of these bands that we're playing as well, we're looking up. We're going to play another one in a minute, which people might say that's a bit of an odd choice, but I'll explain why. And we've just Googled it, and it's actually one of the Queen's favourites. This is going to be our second track link, which is Virginia Plain by Roxy Music. Heroes, appropriately.
Yep.
You Can Be King and I Can Be Queen was the first one. This is the second one, and after this we're going to do Tipple of the Week, because that's our thing.
Yep.
But we are going to do it and raise our glasses to the royal family. Before that, here's track link number 2. Because I'm changing these songs hot on the hoof, and I'm actually going there left-handed. I'm being ambidextrous on the keypad. We've had Bowie.
We have
don't need
Bowie.
him again, and we don't want that one again either. So there we go.
No.
That's what becomes of leaving the music channel open.
Yes.
We should know better, but we're all of a kerfuffle and a fluster.
Yes.
We had a news story to cover this week as well, but it's quite an amusing one, so maybe we'll just park that up for next week. Also, Tony Black's in the chat room. Hi Tony, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. I keep saying thank you so much everyone for joining us.
Well, we've just said it. We're surprised that anybody's tuned in when this is going on, so it's quite a privilege to have anybody listening to us, but it is nice to have the company and know that people are out there and actually listening to what we're doing. We will do Tipple of the Week, Leo, I think now. This is one that I've chosen. We're desperately trying to get hold of a particular tipple, which again possibly wouldn't have been appropriate for this week anyway. So maybe that's the stars aligning.
Yes, I think so.
And we've chosen one threefold, really. Although they've not dropped in tonight because Monty Tom's already sent us a memo to say that Sarah's quite upset and they're watching all the stuff on TV. Re the Queen, obviously. So
I imagine both of us are probably going to have a look in. To be honest, I should have it on up back there.
Yeah, we'd be like, thank you very much, good night. Right, get the telly on. Let's have a look at what's going on. But we've chosen this little brew. It's called, I'll hold it up for those who are watching. Where's my camera? There it is.
We've moved cameras.
I know, we've moved
the eagle-eyed out there would have noticed that we've upgraded cameras this week for season 2, haven't we?
So this is a little Green King brew, which I've never tried, but I do like a Green King beer, and it's called Icebreaker. I just thought that's quite a lovely, appropriate name because this is our first show. What a way to come back into season 2.
Absolutely.
But this is our first show of season 2, so this is a little icebreaker.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I used to go around bars in Bristol, and I'd see a lady across the bar, and I'd walk up and take out his tiny little pickaxe and give it to her. So like, what the hell is this? I go, it's an icebreaker.
It's an icebreaker. What a nice way to break the ice. But more importantly, Leo, this is brewed in Bury St Edmunds, where our very own Monty Tom and Sarah reside.
Massive indeed. Shout outs to the Bury St Edmunds Massive, if I can even say it.
Yeah, which is a shame that they're
Well, don't worry, they can catch up with us.
Of course they can.
Of course they can.
Where can they catch up with us, though?
They can catch up with us at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk or vision.fluidrecords.co.uk, where we have all of our on-demand. That's all the video highlights from this show and all of the audio of these shows. Prouts Night Out, Big Lads, Thick Hard Portion, all of my older shows as well, Motion and the Driver Radio Show, Kamchan Sushi, Dexterity Sessions, Liquid Lounge. There's a lot there. We're fast approaching, I think, 200 shows on Fluid FM,
which is pretty good going. We've also potentially got some new people that might come on board, either doing pre-recorded shows or doing live shows for this season. We've got hopefully the Rock Project. I spoke to Cameron Mills earlier from the Rock Project. He's just wished us well and said the children are obviously back into school and they've just started up their sessions. Would love to get them down here to use the studio so that we can record when we get our new 1080 cameras also. And also Leo and myself, although he has a star-studded show, that lad up at True Radio has invited Leo and myself to go up and be on his show,
that's
which is exciting. I'm excited about that. So let's get into this.
Nice to be on a proper professional show for a change.
Well, I said we can look at what he does. We can pick his brains and take some notes. Let's get into this icebreaker quickly. Should we do a synchronated open? Shall we go 1, 2, 3, open? 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Not bad. Yes.
Nice.
A fast, easy return on that one.
It's a good colour.
Plenty of purchase.
It's looking nice. I'm about ready for a drink as well.
Yeah, to be quite honest, after the shock of today, I think many of us around the country, up and down, will be raising a glass in memoriam, and it is a perfect time for me to say, if you are doing so, please do drink responsibly. We do advocate responsible drinking on this show, even if it might not sound like it.
I was going to say, sometimes it doesn't look like we do that, and sometimes it can look like we're a bit brutal on things, but at the end of the day, like one of my favourite comedians, Ricky Gervais, always said, it's funny first, and we don't mean a lot of what we do and a lot of what we say.
Yes.
Chin chin, Leo.
Chin chin, cheers. And ladies and gentlemen, we raise our glass in honour of Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II, 70 years on the throne. God bless you.
Chin chin. And whilst we sup on that, apparently requested by the Queen herself for one of the concerts, the chap putting the concert together said the Queen only requested one band and he had to make all the others up. The person that she wanted there was Cliff Richard, and her favourite song, although it may sound strange, is this one.
Hey, and there we go. That there was If You Were Here by a band called Kent, little known band, one that I very much enjoy, a fantastic tune there, and again, kind of feels somewhat inappropriate in some ways, as we are paying tribute today.
That was a great tune.
Yeah, really great track. Another one of those ones where, we do try to mix up here with stuff you haven't heard along with stuff you have heard, because you never know, you might quite like that, like I did. Kent is a fantastic band, 90s band, very, very good. Great tune there, much in the vein of Cecil. But as I was saying, we are in memoriam this evening to Her Royal Highness, Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth, who has died. Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo paid the following tribute. Belgium sends its condolences to the British royal family and to the British people. May Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II rest in peace. For over 70 years she was a beacon of stability and dignity for the British people. There are well-wishers laying flowers at the bridge leading to Balmoral in the fading twilight this evening. Small packages of posies have been left on the granite bridge. And there are tributes outside Sandringham pouring in as well, and crowds are gathering in front of Buckingham Palace. It's looking quite busy down there.
I should imagine it is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. New news that's just popped in there. William and Kate have now changed their Twitter account to be referred to as the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and Cambridge, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new Duke and Duchess.
Of course we
they
would,
have taken on the titles once reserved for Charles and Camilla, who obviously will now become King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. Yes.
Yeah, didn't think of that. They've all got to shuffle the titles.
Yep. Flags at obviously Balmoral and all of the major houses are at half-mast. Emmanuel Macron's office has said that the Élysée Palace in Paris will also have half-mast flags. It's there's so much going on. You see me looking away from the screen.
It's relentless though, isn't it? Because everybody's going to be, tweeting, Instaing, Facebooking, messaging. It's all going to come through. Bang, bang, bang.
Exactly. Even on our chat rooms, Tony Black saying sad news today indeed, but well done for continuing on. Thank you, Leo. Like I say, we couldn't not do the show.
No, absolutely.
It's happened. We
at the end of the day, it's an honour to be doing the show.
Yes,
because we've got to carry on,
and we get to pay our respects in one of the only ways we can. Really, it's one of the few ways I know how to. Is just being a musician. Just do it through music. I'm going to play a song here. This was a request from Andrea earlier. We played Lady Driver. She wanted the Eurythmics. Mm-hmm. This is a lovely little tune by a fantastic band called The Coral. And they've done some cracking, lovely little ditties there. They're happy little songs, The Coral. And, at the end of the day, it's a sad occasion, but we've said it's a celebration of life also. Indeed.
So I'm still going to play this one. This is In the Morning by The Coral. The unmistakable theme there on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yes, very, very skillfully coupled there. Me on the decks, Leo on the visuals. Look, we've got the whole parachute jump with Craig.
Well,
we've got the tune coming in the background. So we are nothing if not
Professional to a degree.
Reasonably
professional. We were just saying there as well, like the memories, because of 2012 Olympics, obviously when she met up with Bond there and did the parachute jump, and obviously we were doing the Frank Turner opening ceremony. It's again fantastic memories that I'm sure so many people have their own, and I will also dedicate that tune to my mum. Just up in Scotland this last week seeing my folks, and bless, like, hopefully mum's doing great. She is actually a big fan of that particular Bond film. She's not a big Bond fan, but Her Majesty Secret Service is by far her favourite
Was
one.
that Dalton?
No, it was dang, I keep forgetting his name.
Lazenby.
Lazenby,
That's
yes.
it, sorry, George Lazenby.
It starts with a fantastic scene where his to-be wife, played by... No, you haven't got it.
No. It's honestly, it's been a while since I've seen that one.
Emma Peel from The Avengers.
Oh, of course.
Diana Rigg.
That's it. Well
possibly the second most beautiful woman in the world, next to the good Lady Driver. And yeah,
is she listening upstairs?
I think she is. Yeah.
Right, brilliant. Well done. Ching. Hang on a minute.
Go on.
Brownie point.
Yes, you got it, sweet. So when she runs away with his car, he looks up at the camera and says, "Well, this never happened to the last guy." But it's actually just the amazing
Typical Bond
story in
humour.
that. And for anyone that hasn't seen it, I won't spoil it, but the ending of that film is just...
I need to revisit some Bond films. My good friend Martin Christopher, who I'm going to be ringing whilst I'm on the drive up to Siege to kill some M5 time, he's a massive Bond fan. He's got the whole box set and so on.
Well,
he'd be good to get online. And
Bond.
we should get Martin to send us in. Actually, I'll ask him to send us in a Bond quiz.
Oh, please do.
That would be brilliant because he loves a bit of Bond, and he won't get Bond wrong. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
He'll get Bond very, very right.
What's Bond's coat of arms for his family? What does it
go
feature?
on. I don't know.
3 gold balls.
Does it?
Yes.
Is that a genuine answer?
Yes, it is. And incidentally, the Paine family crest also has a couple of gold bowlers on it as well.
I would have thought the Bond one would have had that long gun with a silencer or that thing down the barrel there. That would have been good for his coat of arms.
Well, the premise of it is that he's pretending to be someone verifying the Count de Beauchamp's estate and value because Blofeld is pretending to be Le Count de Beauchamp. Cut off his earlobes. There you go.
We've got this signal now, haven't we?
Yeah.
We know what it is.
Moving on.
No, yeah. Moving on to Tracklink. And Leo's shuffled all the stuff around on the Tracklink machine this week as well. So I'm reading the Tracklink lists, and the Tracklink things moved from 2 to 8. We'll play the last track link now, which is also, again, seemingly this evening now, strangely appropriate, which is the one tune that we weren't over sure about. This is the third one to go with Virginia Plain by Roxy Music. That you're thinking of the band members. Heroes was a collaboration with David Bowie and another fella, and we're going to play Viva La Vida, which was produced by a certain gentleman, and that's all the clues you're getting. Coldplay. Viva La Vida by Coldplay. All you've got to do is put those three together. David Bowie's Heroes collaboration, Viva La Vida by Coldplay, produced by, and look at the Roxy Music lineup. Yeah, specifically on that album.
Yep.
That is it for Track Link.
If you want another clue, I think he also worked on the soundtrack of Ghost in the Shell, the original 1995 anime, not the Scarlett Johansson one. And he also worked with U2.
He didn't work with me too. Did he work with you two?
No, the band U2.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah. Bonio.
Bono. I love number 2, Bono.
Yeah. Bonio. As we like. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan. Don't think the Queen was a fan either. U2 don't come up on her list of favourite artists.
Actually, I don't recall seeing them much.
No.
Speaking of which, German Chancellor Olaf has sent in his regards to the Queen. We mourn the death of Queen Elizabeth II. She was a role model and inspiration for millions, also here in Germany. Obviously, she is of German descent.
Yeah.
There's no qualms behind that. Her commitment to German-British reconciliation after the horrors of World War II will remain unforgotten. Obviously,
we've mentioned that, haven't we?
Yeah, it's just, key to her her reign. Ushered in at a time of extreme depression.
At a very young age to take over the role of being the Queen.
Yes, she will be missed, not least her wonderful humour. The website for Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation is displaying a tribute for the Queen with the words "in loving memory of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, 1926 to 2022." Portugal's Prime Minister Antonio Costa has said it is with sadness that we learn the news of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Her 70-year-long reign has marked British history since the Second World War. My sincere condolences to the royal family and to the people of the United Kingdom. And Church of England has said that church bells will be tolled across the nation tomorrow. Guidance from the Central Council of Church Bell Ringers recommends tolling bells for 1 hour from noon tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So all my campanologist friends out there, I'm sure they will be plenty busy down St Martin's Church, because I believe this Saturday they were having a bell ringing session anyway.
They normally practice living next door. They practice on a Thursday and they obviously ring on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Strangely as well, looking at all these things that are coming together, we said we've got a quiz tonight, which is titled, we've just played the song on Her Majesty's Secret Service with the image, and the quiz tonight provided by Mr. Periwinkle was actually entitled on Her Majesty's Secret Service. We checked the content. The content's good to go. There's nothing at all detrimental or comedic about the royal family. So we will do the quiz.
I will say though, tomorrow with all of this church bell ringing, don't let the bells end.
No.
The Darkness, great Christmas tune.
That is a good tune, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
This is what came to mind at the time.
Yeah. It's a good tune. So, let's play on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yes,
the quiz in Her Majesty's honour.
Yes.
And see if we can actually score any points.
Indeed. And
so, we've got the BGM on. Sorry, it's because I haven't got my earphone down, because we're playing the in-house speakers.
Yes, exactly. And also, we decided not to have BGM in the first part of the show. Obviously, a bit of respect, but I think, we're getting into the evening now. People, I think, are starting to grow accustomed to this breaking news that Queen Elizabeth has indeed left us.
And the BGM, obviously provided again by our good friend Siege, is called Clocks Forward.
It is.
And we'll probably play the whole tune next week, I think, so that you can hear it properly, because it is a very, very good tune, which was another task set by Leo for Siege. And he rose to the challenge within about an hour and came back with exactly what we wanted.
It's incredible.
So, we'll play the whole thing next week.
And don't forget, listeners and viewers, if you want to get involved with the quiz, jump on to fm.fluidrecords.co.uk or vision.fluidrecords.co.uk. Jump in the chat rooms and give us your answers. What are you doing?
I tell you what, this computer loves David Bowie. It keeps jumping to David Bowie. Whatever button I press on this computer, it plays Bowie.
Maybe it's David trying to send us a message through the ether. He's probably up there now.
Pack it up, Dave.
He's probably at the gates right now, opening them up. Welcome along, Your Highness. Good to see you, darling. It's been a while, I know. Let's get in and put on those red shoes and dance the blues away.
And how will we know that the people know? And I just keep sending a message to Phluid FM, and every time Neil touches anything, my song will play.
Next it'll just be, I saw a baby crying hard as babe could cry.
Is Bowie in the room?
God help us, it isn't Dancing in the Street with...
Jagger.
Jesus. That came on again today.
Yeah.
I can't escape that damn thing.
The funniest one of those, if anybody wants to watch, maybe we'll dig it out. Go onto YouTube and look at the one with the sound missing, where his trainers just squeak.
Yeah, this is something actually I'll try and sort out for future shows, is a little window that we can do that sort of thing.
There's a great one, the Firestarter as well. But anyway, that's another story. Let's do Periwinkle's on Her Majesty's Secret Service quiz. Then we will play another tune while we cogitate over the answers.
Yes,
indeed. Leo.
So, question 1. What are the names of Prince Charles's 5 grandchildren?
Good grief.
George?
Yeah.
Beatrice?
Oh, is it?
Eugenie? Oh wait, no, there is nieces.
Yeah.
George.
Oh, there is a... Oh, crikey, I'm rubbish at way.
George. George II.
I've only
George
got George
III.
as well.
George IV. Oh, no,
Louis.
Louis, yes.
Of course.
Louis one, yep, of course.
Both my grandchildren, George and
There
Louis,
you go,
should have got them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a what's the girl? Not Beth. Move on. Question 2. We're rubbish at that.
Yeah,
We've only got
like-
George and Louis. We'll think while we play some tunes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll stay off Google. Question 2. What is the name of Harry and Meghan's non-profit charitable foundation? Which, if you'd been listening carefully, you would have heard me mention it in our breaking news across the show, because they just tweeted about it short time ago.
Unfair.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I can't remember.
Right, okay.
I've read too many tweets since then. It is written down here, but in the interest
Question
of...
3.
Yeah. Question 3 is, which British princess had a baby named Sienna Elizabeth last year? Now, that is probably
Beatrice.
Beatrice, yeah. Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah.
Yes. She with the
I
large
think
eyes.
Beatrice rather than Eugenie. Yeah. Okay, question 4.
Yeah, I think most people would probably...
Yeah.
That's harsh. And question 4 is also a good one. How old was Prince Philip at the time of his death?
Was he 99? He didn't quite make it to... Was he 98 or 99? He didn't quite make the 100 because... I think it was
then the
99
Queen would
because
have
I said his
sent him a
wife would
letter,
have to
wouldn't
send him a letter.
And she can't be affording the postage on that in this day and age.
I think it was they were on strike anyway, so it wouldn't have got to him.
Yeah.
I think it was
Hey, she can
99.
give it to him now. Perfect.
There you go.
Deliver it, hand delivered.
That's a nice thought, really, isn't it?
Good. God bless.
I'm going to say 99. I've put you down for 99 because I think he was just 1 year out.
I think he was, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and last question.
Last one, question 5 is, true or false, the Queen weighs her guests when they arrive and when they leave at Christmas?
That's so bonkers. I'm going to say it's true.
I think it could
don't
be a
know
tradition.
why she...
I think
yeah,
it
do you
could be
think?
a nice little like grandma's tradition of, I hope you've eaten well and had a good Christmas. I'm going to weigh you to make sure your tummies are nice and full of Christmas pud.
It is so bizarre that it has to be true. Or is it that classic double bluff where we say it's so bizarre it has to be true, but it's false?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's
I'm
true.
going to say true because that sounds like... Again,
I'm going to say
she
true.
has a great reputation for being actually quite sort of witty and
Yeah,
a little
absolutely.
cheeky and a little naughty here and there. So
Absolutely.
it could be a little thing of, I got to weigh you up, make sure you've had plenty of Christmas pud.
I can imagine her
totally
doing that.
imagine that, yeah. So, quick recap. Number 1, what's the name of Prince Charles's 5 grandchildren? Number 2, what's the name of Harry and Meghan's non-profitable charitable foundation? Number 3, which British princess had a baby named Sienna Elizabeth last year? Number 4, how old was Prince Philip at the time of his death? And number 5, true or false, the Queen weighs her guests when they arrive and leave at Christmas? Or weighed should probably be the correct participle now.
And we've got exactly the same answers for all of those. Going back to Queen's favourite tunes and favourite artists, while we're thinking about those quiz questions,
Don't play
Leo, I'm
David
going to
Bowie
play... sorry?
Don't play David Bowie again.
I'm not going to play David, but unless when I press this song,
It
if
comes up
David
with Dancing in
Bowie,
the Street.
if David Bowie comes on, then we'll know we're being haunted.
Yeah.
This is Vera Lynn again, which is one of the Queens. I think it says it's her all-time favourite, and appropriately, you just saying that Prince Philip died at 99, and she can now personally deliver a letter to him. And in respect to all of the work she did through the Second World War, what better than Vera Lynn with "We'll Meet Again"?
Meet again.
Dame Vera Lynn there,
Yeah.
not David Bowie, and I'm killing the music button in case Bowie sneaks in again.
Yes, yeah. I did see Vera Lynn once live on VE Day, I think it was.
Oh, okay, it's quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
She passed away a few years ago, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Theresa May has made a statement.
Okay, let's have that one.
In the United Kingdom and across the entire Commonwealth, we mourn the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Her Majesty devoted herself unreservedly to a life of service. She was respected and admired not only by our own people, but far beyond our family of nations. As our longest reigning monarch, Her Majesty witnessed tremendous change, moving adroitly, I think
that is. Yeah.
My eyes are starting to go,
my
adroitly
glasses.
with the times, but always providing stability and reassurance. She was our constant throughout this great... throughout this great
Is that
Elizabethan
worse?
era. Well, yeah. On the 7th, well, things I'm long-sighted as well. On the 75th anniversary of VE Day, Her Majesty reminded us to never give up, never despair. It was an address that captured not just the funny VE Day's mentioned there. That captured not just the national spirit, but Queen Elizabeth's spirit, a sense of quiet determination, of courage, of faith, and hope in the future. It was the honour of my life to serve her as Prime Minister, but we should never forget that our Queen was a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother.
As we've said,
and our thoughts are with the family. There you go. Chuck Schumer, the DC Senate majority in Washington, said, today we take a solemn and somber pause. A few minutes ago we learned the sad news of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I join with Leader McConnell, with my Senate colleagues, and with all of the Americans to offer deepest sympathies and prayers to the royal family and to the people of the United Kingdom.
Lovely.
Yes. Apparently, Liz Truss was informed of the Queen's death at 4:30 p.m. today. I'm not saying that's the official time, but
no. Well, as I say, Andrea did come in from work today after a bit of a struggle home from work with a blocked road and everything. It said all the Queen's ill, and then we learnt of it, as you said. Literally, she phoned us about 8 minutes before we were going on air to say she'd passed away. 2:30. She learnt about it, so I guess they must tell the Prime Minister relatively quickly because they're closely connected with all the meetings that they do have. So you could probably assume from that it was probably confirmed sometime after 2.
Yes, I imagine so.
And then of course there'll be the whole funeral arrangements and everything, which will be another massive day and a massive turnout for that.
Yes, that's going to be a big event in London right now, I'd imagine. State funeral. I believe that.
I mean, you wonder who will it be almost like like the G8 G7 summit, will people be flying in?
A lot of people coming in, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them came into Newquay. Obviously they can land a VC-25 there, I'd imagine. For
we've got Morgan Porth, you've got Newquay, you've got
obviously you've got Heathrow right there, but
you've got a lot of the military airfields, which are probably best suited as well for security.
Well,
you've already got the military
Morgan's
there.
right next to Newquay.
That's
why they brought Air Force One in there rather than Filton or Heathrow, both of which have long enough.
That will be a massive affair. Shall we have some answers to these quiz questions?
Yeah. Do we want gig news this week as well, or?
Well, I tell you what. Let's do the answers to the quiz.
Yeah.
We'll run that. We were going to have a new feature, weren't we, on all of the shows to promote. One of the things that we like to do is promote local bands, local music, local venues,
local business.
And as we've learnt, the Queen was a massive fan of music. So let's do the gig guide.
We'll do that.
We'll do the answers. We'll give the track link answers, and then we'll probably be toodly pipping off.
Yes.
Maybe slightly earlier this Thursday rather than normally slightly later.
Maybe slightly later, like let's get these last bits in and pay our respects in a due course. Just as I was talking there, Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, has tweeted, I had memorable meetings with Her Majesty the Queen during my UK visits in 2015 and 2018. I will never forget her warmth and kindness. During one of the meetings, she showed me the handkerchief Mahatma Gandhi gifted her on her wedding.
No way.
I will cherish that gesture. She provided inspiring leadership to her nation and people, and she personified dignity and decency in public life. Pained by her demise, my thoughts are with her family and the people of UK in this sad hour. Okay, and this brings us to... Oh, actually, I might say this quickly first.
Yeah, you crack on.
King Charles III has made his first statement as monarch after the death of his mother.
Is he instantly now King Charles III? Is it kind of that the Queen is dead, long live the King?
Yes, hence
immediate.
Hence the phrase, the King is dead, long live the King.
Yeah.
King Charles has said, the death of my beloved mother, Her Majesty the Queen, is a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family. We mourn profoundly the passing of a cherished sovereign and a much-loved mother. I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms and Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world. During this period of mourning and change, my family and I will be comforted and sustained by our knowledge of the respect and deep affection in which the Queen was so widely held. A statement there from our new King. So weird to say, isn't
Charles III.
It's such an odd thing to be saying this live, ladies and gentlemen. King Charles III, their statement.
That's going to take some getting used to, isn't it? It's going to take a bit of sinking into that we've got another King Charles.
We've had so long to expect it to happen eventually, and now it's here. It's still like, wow.
Yeah, but she
Charles
could have gone on
III.
to Robo Queen. I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah, you never know. She was very, very strong constitution, that lady. Absolutely constitution of a rock. She was solid for so many years. Yeah, I can see the look in your eye.
It is, it's just the most weird thing to not have the Queen.
Yeah.
And I know that's it's a stupid thing to say, really, because of course now we haven't got the Queen. But it'll just. As I was just saying to Leo, I think I'll still be 60, and I'll be thinking, oh yeah, we haven't got the Queen.
Question is, how soon are we going to see our first nuggets? The pounds are going to have to change, aren't they? And the 50p's and all that.
Oh yeah, the Royal Mint must be ready to roll. They'll be gradually taken out of circulation, and they've only
a busy few weeks and months for them, I'd imagine.
Crikey! And do you think the Queen might make it onto the B-side?
Maybe. You never know. Longest serving monarch.
Yeah.
So,
I think if they put it to the public,
I could see this a £50 and the £20 being updated to have Elizabeth and Victoria on the backs of them.
Got to be, isn't it? Or even that picture that we've just put on our Instagram with the young Queen, the middle Queen, and the old. Those three iconic photos.
I imagine there certainly will be some royal mints going out to commemorate this.
Because when they did the new 20, that was the public vote, wasn't it? And I think you could either have Churchill, there was Isaac Newton there, and they always ask people what they want. So I think if they put it to the public vote and they said, would you like the Queen on the back, which will be really strange to have the King on the front and the Queen on the back.
Yeah, well, it'd be unique.
She'll be tails now, not heads.
Yes, well, heads and heads.
Heads and heads.
It's going to make it a lot easier to win breaks at pool and kickoffs at football.
I'll call heads. Right, let's have these answers, Leo.
Okay then, so if I just review the question as I go, the first question was, what are the names of King Charles III's 5 grandchildren? Yeah, see this did not age well.
I hope calling him Prince Charles isn't now going to become a treasonable offence, because we're both going to be hanged.
But I mean, literally within hours of delivery, this thing is so badly aged.
we should frame this quiz. I think this might actually be a collector's item.
I think
this
we'll
one.
have to put it up in the
definitely get it in. Yeah, definitely put it up. We'll keep that one.
Yeah.
We got George and Louis, and we couldn't get any further. But I thought there was a girl beginning with B.
Well, kind of close.
Oh.
So the answer was George, Charlotte, Louis, Archie, and of course Lilibet. So
which
is obviously Elizabeth.
Okay, so we get 2 for that out of 5 each.
Yes.
Question number 2, we didn't know the answer to, so what was the question?
So the question was, what is the name of Harry and Meghan's non-profit charitable foundation, which I did mention earlier in the show with the messages coming in.
I'm totally at a loss to that one.
It was the Archwell Foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
On that one.
Number 3 was, which British princess had a baby named Sienna Elizabeth last year?
We both said Beatrice.
Absolutely, it was Princess Beatrice. Yeah, lovely. So it's getting good use out of that, aren't you?
It is. It's a bit muffly on the mic. We might have to mount it separately.
Yeah, it could be a good idea.
Maybe unscrew that.
To mount it from a different angle.
Yeah.
Let's
try it.
As Rob Halford said to Monty. Anyway, moving on. Question 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, question 4.
Question 4.
Yes. I was getting distracted by Rob Halford again. How old was Prince Philip at the time of his death?
We put 99 and I've even put a flake in it.
Well, I got 99 problems, but that question ain't one, because we were absolutely right. It was 99. There you go. You like that, huh? It's a good one.
But I think people listening will hear boom, bing, with the wobbling of the microphone stand.
So I'll let it out and post.
Yeah. I didn't cock up trackling though. Right, crack on.
Yes, at least we got that way. Well, that's because I put it on the other end of the CD, so you couldn't. That's why it's halfway through the CD this week.
Yeah, it is. Fair play.
Question 5. True or false, the Queen weighs her guests when they arrive and leave at Christmas?
We both said true. It's got to be
true.
Brilliant.
Yes, the Queen did indeed weigh her. Our former Queen did weigh her guests as part of a tradition that dates back to Edward VII. Apparently, he would weigh them on the way.
When was Edward VII on the throne?
That's an excellent question.
Because the history of the monarchy,
19.
Going back along, is not my specialist subject in any way, shape or form. But
it
hang on a
was,
minute, Leo. 2, 3, 4. We got 3 questions right completely, and then we got 2 names of the royal grandchildren. So we both actually scored on Her Majesty's Secret Service quiz. We both scored 5.
Excellent.
So I think we can have a bit of a congratulations, because normally we get about 2.
Yes, exactly.
So
that was a good quiz as well. Thank you very much.
That was a good quiz. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Periwinkle.
Indeed.
And we shall put that on the pin board, because that's going down as a moment in history on this show, I think.
Yes. And you know what is even more interesting? So, big shout outs to Marty Moore and Uncle George, who are celebrating their wedding anniversary this evening.
Okay.
And guess what they received in the post this morning?
Not telegrams from the Queen.
Yes, telegrams to the Queen this
morning.
Both
of them?
Yes.
Wow.
For being married for 60 years, I think it is.
No way.
Yes, so that's going to be
last telegram from the Queen.
Yes, the last telegram from the Queen. So, congratulations and a very happy anniversary to you, Martin and Uncle George. I hope you have a great time and that this doesn't put a dampener on your celebrations too much. But just think, you now have one of the last, if not the last, telegrams from the Queen.
I just think, that's worth on eBay.
They will very much have that on their walls. Very proud. I spoke to her earlier today. She was super proud of that and very.
So literally receive that today and then receive the news later today that the Queen's now passed away.
Amazing,
how bizarre must that be?
We've
got a telegram from the Queen. Next telegram you get is the Queen's dead.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
That is bonkers.
And to answer your question, Edward VII did indeed reign in 20th of January to 11th of December 1936.
That was very short.
Well, he abdicated because he married outside of the royal family, didn't he?
Course.
Yes, something that has changed somewhat in modern days, what with William and Meghan marrying outside of royal or aristocracy.
Harry.
Well, both of them, isn't it, really? Because Kate Middleton's only slightly royal.
Yeah. Also, whilst we're on the subject of giving out answers, of course, to anybody out there who's had a look at the track link, the link, of course, to the track link.
Do you want to tell them what the tracks were again? It was David Bowie, Heroes.
Was it David? Did we play David Bowie? I don't think we did we?
More than once. So it was David Bowie, Heroes, Roxy Music with
Virginia Plains,
and last one was
Viva La Vida by Coldplay. So David Bowie and Brian Eno collaborated on Heroes. Brian Eno played synthesizer and keyboards for a few years with Roxy Music.
And also, this ties in with the thing that I mentioned earlier, the Buggles. Oh wait, was it the Buggles?
Yeah,
I think he played a bit with them.
But he had a long and illustrious career doing all sorts of things and worked with everybody. But also the last one, Viva La Vida, which was Coldplay, he actually produced that album. He also produced a lot of Grace Jones albums. We were potentially going to play Grace Jones track.
Which incidentally, the track we were going to play at the beginning was Let Me Entertain You, which was originally produced for Grace Jones by Trevor Horn from the Buggles. Yes.
But we will play all the tracks and do all the naughty things and maybe whatever we're going to do next week. So that will be
next week.
Normal service will resume next week.
More updates coming in. People will be able to pay their respects to the Queen as the monarch's coffin is expected to lie in rest in state for 24 hours at St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. If you happen to be in the area, which incredibly most of my family are up in Scotland, I would imagine they would be going. They'll be allowed into the church. Members of the public will be allowed into the church to file past the coffin whilst it lays there in state in about 3 days' time. Pardon me. Reverend Callum MacLeod has paid tribute, saying she was such a strong and faithful servant. With the whole nation, we at St Giles Cathedral mourn the death of Her Majesty the Queen, strong and faithful servant to the UK and Commonwealth for so many years. We send our heartfelt condolences to the royal family. A service will be held in the cathedral and the Queen's children are expected to stage a vigil around the coffin known as the Vigil of the Princes while it lies there. This also means that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's son, Archie Mountbatten Windsor, is now technically a prince.
Okay.
Yep. So there's that.
That's all of a sudden something to. Oh, by the way, you're a prince.
Yep.
Isn't it? That's something to get hit with on a day.
Lilibet has been mentioned as well. His younger sister, Lilibet, Lily Mountbatten Windsor, is also to be entitled to be a princess. Yes, and the accession of her grandfather, the Prince of Wales, to the throne. And the death of her grandfather leads her to now be princess. Meghan has spoken during an interview of her shock at being told she'd not get police protection. Okay, I'm not sure why that's relevant.
That's a bit random, but why does she... Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said he learned the news with deep sadness. On behalf of the people, we extend sincere condolences to the royal family, the entire United Kingdom and the Commonwealth over this irreparable loss. Our thoughts and prayers are with you.
And we did say that most people, regardless of class, colour, creed, age, gender, political leanings or whatever, genuinely got a fondness for the Queen, if not a love for the Queen. And the most that can be said of everybody is potentially maybe a little bit of indifference. And that most people are just human underneath everything. But there's one person completely noticeable by their absence who is a complete bastard, because you've not read anything out by Putin.
Oh, that's a good point.
So he's just absolutely proven.
Mr. Diplomatic is going to step in here.
Okay, go on then.
It's entirely possible that or President Putin has actually made a statement, but they're not releasing it because they don't want him to make a statement at this time.
I can't imagine that he's made one. That's you being diplomatic and me being cynical. And on that bombshell.
That's it. Putin's statement.
See if you can find one.
I'm going to double check because I'm pretty sure he will have done.
What will he have said that anybody will remotely want to hear, though, that doesn't sound like double standards, to be fair?
Yeah, no one's writing anything about Putin.
No,
certainly
there
nothing good.
You go.
Did you want to have gig news before we go?
We'll have gig news. Then you need to get your final screenshot, because we'll play out with one specific.
Have we got a tune we can do in between, and I'll come back to gig news, and then we'll finish up with that. I don't want to overrun too much, but it is an important event. It is a big evening that we have here, and we have got some gigs coming up in the local area. That at a time like this, again, we should be celebrating the life of the Queen. If you do have the time and the wherewithal to get out to one of these gigs, maybe you can do your own tribute to the Queen at each of these pubs and venues across our county. Have a drink for her, raise a glass to her, and have some fun with some great bands. So we will just play a track and come back to this. And what track are we going to play?
Well, I'm going to play another one, just quickly Googling, because obviously I'm going through songs like a mad thing. But again, the Queen we mentioned, big fan of ABBA. And maybe Queen, the Queen globally was the biggest Mamma Mia of them all. Hey. So let's have that one.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia for Queen Mamma Mia.
Indeed. Our matriarch, Queen Elizabeth II. May she rest in peace, God rest her soul. So, as we mentioned before, the music there, we are going to do our Gig Watch coming up. A new feature here, we will be giving you way more gigs in the region. And as I was saying just before the music there, coming up over this weekend, I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to raise a glass to the Queen. So what better way to do it than by supporting your local musicians at the same time? As we said, the Queen is a big fan of music.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she would want every one of us to get out there and celebrate.
I'm sure she would have been listening.
Exactly. 70 years of reign. Let's celebrate that, and you can get started with that celebration Friday the 9th, that's tomorrow, with acoustic rock from Horse with No Name. And for some reason I've gone and forgotten to write down where that is. It's at 9 p.m. to 11:30 somewhere.
Hey, Horse with No Name, have a great night wherever you are. They're probably at the Swan and Duck.
I knew there was something I was forgetting on that one. The first one, it had to be, didn't it?
Well, it's a new feature. It's going to have some snags.
It is.
One of them being that if you want to go and see Horse with No Name, you don't know where they are. That's your first snag.
Yes. This will get better with the second one.
Will it?
Hopefully. Saturday we have...
Shall I do the second one?
Saturday the 10th, we have Dew Bath at Dullo Ale and Cider Festival. Dulo, sorry. You're going to have to correct me on a few of these.
Yeah. You London boy.
Yep. Dulo Art and Cider Festival, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's Dew Bath.
Oh, actually sounds good.
Yeah, they're a pretty hot duo, actually. I've seen a lot of their gigs. I think the last time we did a gig with highlights of what gigs are on, they were on it.
Okay.
They are playing all over the place. I've got a couple of their gigs here, but I didn't put all of them down.
No, that's fine.
We would literally be saying their name every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They are playing extensively over this month, but like I say, the first one is Saturday the 10th at the Dulo Art. Geelong Ale and Cider Festival between 4 and 6 p.m.
So you can hop on their Facebook and see their other dates.
Exactly, yes, and that's free for entry. And also on Saturday the 10th we have the Time Tunnel, which again is incidentally synchronistic because Legend just started playing that again from the beginning. I watched the first episode of the Time Tunnel yesterday.
Okay, I remember that one when they're running down the tunnel at the I know that one.
And the first episode he ends up on the Titanic.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, good episode.
So where are they playing?
They're
not on the Titanic.
No, luckily. The Time Tunnel, they're a 60s cover band, as you might expect.
That'd be good.
And they're playing at Lostwithiel Social Club.
Nice.
8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Nice little town, Lostwithiel. There's a couple of good pubs in there, and we played down on the waterfront before in the summer, which is a great place to play. So yeah, Lostwithiel's got a good vibe to it, so that'll be a good one.
Yep, and they've also got the Castle Brewery up there that we'll have to maybe pop in and say
knock on their door.
Indeed, good shout out to you guys. Sunday the 11th, we have In Your Pocket and Monique, which are a jazz blues 5-piece, and they're playing at the Rod and Line down in Tidderford, just down the corner.
Yeah,
I pass the sign to that a lot and think I've got to go in there one day. This could be a perfect opportunity.
They have bands down at the Legion Club in Tideford as well, which is opposite the Rod and Line.
Is it Tideford?
Tideford.
Not Tidderford.
It's not Tidderford, as in Bideford, because my stepdaughter Fiona the other day was talking to me over the phone. I've gone off on a segue, which we said we wouldn't do. But she said, I'm just looking on the map at Bideford. And I said, it's Bideford. And she said, well, then why is it not called Tidderford?
Tidderford, exactly. Yeah,
but there you go.
I was about to say exactly that. I go Dullo, it's Dulo. I go Tidderford, it's Tideford. Come on, guys.
Don't worry, I'll steer you
Don't
in the
worry,
right
our new
direction.
Duke of Cornwall will get this sorted.
Absolutely.
The Rod and Line, Tidderford, Tideford, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you're wondering where that is, that's just down the A38 towards Plymouth.
Yeah, it's halfway between Trulfoot and Saltash.
Absolutely.
Opposite Paulbury Butchers.
Yes, take a left at Route 38 and keep going and you'll get there.
Yep.
Big shout outs to Route 38 as well. The good lady and driver and I went there for our anniversary on Bank Holiday weekend, and I had myself a 16-ounce T-bone. Oh yeah, that's some good business right there. So shout outs to Route 38. Saturday the 17th, we have Men in Black Band at the Lou Social Club, and that's between 9:15 and 11:45.
Cool.
And they play a variety of different styles. And then Dewbarf are back, and that's DEWBARF if you're interested. Dewbarf, and they're going to be again at the Buller's Arms in Lou. 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Doing quite a lot of earlier gigs there. So if you have got kids, a lot of these places earlier in the day, it's a great opportunity to take them down for some music as well.
I always like when we play. We always like an afternoon slot.
Afternoon slots are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And also on Saturday 17th we have Booster, who play rock and pop covers, and they're playing at the Cannington Social Club.
Excellent. That's a good venue, that is.
You did tell me earlier, make sure you check out Cannington Social Club.
Yeah, they have some good bands in there. Indeed. Shout out to the guys, Tracy, there over at Cannington Social Club.
Yeah, shout out to you. And Prouty's just down the road from there, so I'm sure you'll pop in for that one. 9:30 till midnight. A bit of a late burn.
Yeah, they do. We've played there, and again, it is a late one in there.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Let me just take a little sip of our tipple of the week.
It's nice, that tipple.
It is very good. It's a pale ale, but it's quite light. It's refreshing. Not too much of the Citra hops.
No, very sessiony, and it's a £5 for a 4-pack. Just if you're interested, get that from your local Morrison's.
Smooth. Blue Soul are also playing on Saturday 17th.
What do they play?
Jazz, blues and soul.
No.
Well, they're a 5-piece as well. I was wondering if it might actually be the same people as In Your Pocket and Monique, just under another name, but I doubt it. They're playing at the Ship Inn in Polperro, and that's 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. on Saturday 17th. Then Sunday 18th, we have the Naughty Boys.
Nice.
Spelled Nawtey.
Okay.
Naughty Boys. And they're a covers band that do from 60s to now. And they're playing at the Buller's Arms in Lou.
Excellent. Sounds like that's the place to be.
Yep,
I must get a gig in there.
Then Friday 23rd, we have Jonah's Lift, that are folk rock. And they're playing at the St. Neot Social Club from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Perfect.
Saturday 24th, we have Opium, who are a covers duo, and they're playing at the London Inn in St. Neot between 9 and 11 p.m. And on Saturday 24th, you also have Dave Rich, who is a solo artist that plays rock and pop covers, and he's at, can you guess? Buller's Arms, Lou, and that's 9 till 11 p.m. Then you have the Nick of Time duo, who do 60s to 80s covers, and they're at the Fisherman's Arms, East Lou, between 9 and 11 p.m. on Saturday 24th.
And they turn up at 8:55 today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time.
Dawn Lee's just said when she's back in the UK, we should catch up.
We absolutely should.
We definitely will, Dawn.
Yes.
We'd like a little voiceover skit from Dawn, I think.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
quite nice.
And one from Tony if he's still in.
Good as well. Yeah,
if he can be bothered. I mean, he seems quite in a good spirits today, Tony. Fair play to him.
Yeah, maybe he's had a good day out on the surf.
Yeah. So that's our gig guide, which is good. So
we got one left.
We've got
one left. Yeah, like the Sunday 25th. This one's unconfirmed at the moment, but it is out there. Barracuda's rock 4-piece band playing at the Buller's Arms in Loo between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. And that is your gig watch for this month, and we will keep you updated with those as we go through the weeks to remind you and add any others that come on.
Incidentally, I can't say Barracuda.
Baccarat.
Burt Baccarat. Shall we end?
Baccarat. I think we can end.
9:15. You've been listening to Phluid FM. We've done a Queen tribute show, not the band Queen, obviously. We've done a tribute to the Queen, who sadly passed away earlier today after being the longest reigning monarch in history and serving for 70 years.
Just last couple of mentions from around the world on that. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has said a historic reign and long life devoted to duty, family, faith and service has come to an end. The government and the people of Australia offer our deepest condolences to the royal family who are grieving for a beloved mother, grandmother and great-grandmother, the person whom for so long was their greatest inner strength. Australian hearts go out to the people of the United Kingdom who mourn today, knowing they will feel they have lost part of what makes their nation whole. There is comfort to be found in Her Majesty's own words. Grief is the price we pay for love. This is a loss we all feel, for few have known a world without Queen Elizabeth II. Russian President Vladimir Putin sends his condolence to Britain after a irreparable loss of Queen Elizabeth II. The Irish Republic's President Michael D. Higgins expresses profound regret and deep personal sadness at the Queen's death. Her Majesty served the British people with exceptional dignity. Her personal commitment to her role and extraordinary sense of duty were the hallmarks of her period as the Queen, which will hold a unique place in British history. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte says that the Netherlands remember the Queen with the deepest of respect. During her especially long reign, she was a beacon of calm and stability for her country and the world, even at moments of the greatest historical upheaval. Today our thoughts are first and foremost with her children and grandchildren. Prime Minister of Finland Sanna Marin sends her deepest condolences to the royal family. The President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, called the Queen a close friend. I extend my sincerest condolences to the family of Queen Elizabeth II and the people of the UK. Just to remind anyone in Scotland near Edinburgh, they will have the opportunity, anyone will have the opportunity to pay their respects to the Queen, as the coffin is expected to lay in state for 24 hours at St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. Hundreds of people have gathered outside Buckingham Palace after the news. And the crowd is now singing God Save the Queen, and for her son Charles, God Save the King. Obviously King Charles III, youth king. Like I say, flags will fly at half-mast on all buildings, government buildings, until 8 o'clock in the morning the day following the Queen's state funeral. Any non-official flags, including rainbow or armed forces, will be taken down and replaced with a Union flag flying at half-mast. And a framed plaque announcing the Queen's death has been placed on the front gates of Buckingham Palace.
So sad.
Yes. It's
the end. Literally, I know it's a cliche and it's overused, but it is quite literally the end of an era.
Absolutely. And Queen Elizabeth II has had an amazing reign, incredible amounts of change over that time, huge numbers of presidents, prime ministers, world leaders.
Come and
huge
gone.
Crises have come and gone.
Just the constant.
Yeah, she's been there through all of it. From, like I say, probably the biggest crisis our world has seen in many hundreds of years, the Second World War.
Yeah.
Barriers have been removed apparently to the gates to Balmoral to allow the public to lay flowers.
Dawn Lee sent in a crying emoji.
Indeed, yeah. Yes, thank you, Dawn. They've opened up Balmoral now. They've taken the barriers away to let people flood in and pay their respects. It is an end of an era. It has been a huge era.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's actually, kind of an honour to be able to look back on it. Really.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And say we were part of that.
Absolutely,
She
this is
will
the
be
only.
remembered forever. I doubt that we'll ever have another monarch that will ever reign as long as she has, possibly ever in the world. Monarchies are becoming a rare thing these days.
Well, she was in her 70 years and she's 96. I was going to say she was in her 20s. So I mean, you look at King Charles now; he's mid 70s.
Yeah.
If he lives as long as the Queen, that's 20 years. And of course, William's already late 30s, is he? So he's going to be then 6. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Nobody's going to come to the throne.
To be honest, by the time we get down to William, Harry, that sort of area,
they'll be older.
Yes, and I think it will be a point where we may be seeing the end of our royal family as they stand today, maybe becoming more like Monaco or is it Sweden, where they are royal family in name, but they have more reduced roles in the politics and whatnot. There is so much to this era that is
crazy.
Now,
it is
this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, an overused cliche, but it is quite genuinely. If there is a time to say it's the end of an era, it is literally today.
Yeah, and much like this show, we are fast coming to the end of it, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We've got one more picture we were going to put up because we're going to play out with one specific song.
Yeah, we're going to play out with a specific tune. I'll try and get the picture up as we fly, because all of this has been on the fly. Like I say, this whole show, we've literally thrown together 8 minutes before we went on air. We really appreciate every single one of you that's tuned in with us tonight. Thank you so much for letting us keep you up to date and deliver news to you. It's been an honour to do so.
We'll put links out so that anybody can listen again. We'll make people aware that obviously this has been a special.
Yes.
Normal service will resume next week, but we'll play out now with God Save the Queen. And before anybody thinks we're going to go up to our old tricks, this isn't the Pistols version.
No, it isn't.
Live at Wembley, this is Brian May, and we will say good night.
Don't forget to feed the head of Al Gore Vision. I can't even say it. It's,
and we should say good night and God Save the King.
God Save the King, King Charles III, and God rest, God bless our former Queen, Elizabeth II. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. God bless and good night.